So yesterday we have done this one. So I told to try to do this. So have you done anybody got any answer, or we'll try to do this one today? Okay. So now what is the problem? So design a lossless T junction divider with a 30 ohm source impedance to give 3:1 power split. That means the port 2 and port 3 need to be have the power ratios 3 and 1. Okay. Design a quarter wave matching transformers to convert the impedances of the output lines to 30 ohm. So now we need to design a characteristic, or we need to calculate the characteristic impedance of the lambda 54 transmission line in order to match that input to the 30 ohm output line. So determine the magnitude of the scattering parameters for this circuit. So using a 30 ohm characteristic impedance. So first we need to write the T junction divider. Okay. So if you write the T junction divider, so you already know this. Okay. So this is lambda by 4 section transformer. Okay, so this is lambda by 4, and here you will be having a characteristic impedance 30 ohm, which is given. Here also it is 30 ohm, and here also it is 30 ohm. Okay, so now the ratio, that is P2 by P3, that ratio should be 3:1. Okay, so that we need to design, and also we need to match this input and output source using the lambda by 4 section transformer. So that characteristic impedance we need to find. So let us take that transformers as ZT2 and ZT3. Okay, so now if you apply a power here, that is P in. Okay, so now what is the power? So that equation we have already found out. So that is while doing the P junction divider, P in, which is nothing but half of V naught square by Z naught. So this is the input power which is we are feeding. So now similarly in terms of V naught, whatever junction voltage which is V naught, it is there. So if you find out using this voltage what is the power which is at the port 2, which is nothing but half into V naught square by Z2, the impedance which is Z2 at this port. Okay, similarly you will be having the port impedance, that is power at port 3 with respect to port impedance Z3, that is V naught square by Z3. Okay, so these are the corresponding powers. So now what we need to do, so we know the ratio, that is P2, which is nothing but 3 by 4th of P1, that is 3 into 1, that is ratio, it is 3 and 1. So the power 2 it is delivered, so 3 of the portion, so if you take, so 3:1 of the power it is delivered, and here 1 by 4th of the P1, what is the port 1 or P in, so we can take it as P in also. So input power whatever we have defined, so 3 by 4th of the power it is going to port 2, and 1 by 4th of the power it is going to P3. Okay, so now we know the expression for P2 and P3 and P in, so substitute and you will get it the values for the impedances Z3 and Z2. Okay, so now we equate it P2 and P in. So what is P2? It is half into V naught square by Z2, which is equal to 3 by 4th of the half into what is P in, V naught square by Z naught. Okay, V naught square by Z naught. Okay, so now what is the, so remaining values, half will get cancelled, V naught square will get cancelled. So now what is 1 over Z2, you will get it as 3 by 4th of 1 over Z naught. Okay, so now what is the value of Z2? Z2 is 4 Z naught by 3. So now we know the impedance, that characteristic impedance, which is 30 ohm. So now what is the value of Z2? Which is equal to 4 into 30 divided by 3. So that will be equal to, so what is the value of Z2? So 4 into, so around 120 divided by 3. Okay, so what is the value of Z2? Z2 equal to 40 ohm. Okay, so your Z2 will be equal to 40 ohm. and similarly you equate it to P3, so that is half into V naught square by Z3. This is your P3, so which is equal to 1 by 4th power of your P in, so that is half into V naught square by Z naught. So now this will get cancel each other, so V naught square. Now what is Z3? So your Z3 will be equal to, so 4 times Z naught. Okay, so now what is Z naught? 30 ohm, so into 4 you will get the value 120 ohm, so that is your Z3. Okay, so we got Z2 and Z3. So now we need to find the lambda by 4 section transformer impedance, that is characteristic impedance of the lambda by 4 section. So now we know the equation for the quarter wave transformer to find out the impedance, that is nothing but ZT2 equal to square root of, so input impedance into load impedance. You can see here now we got the impedance of the 40 ohm for Z2 and 120 ohm for Z3. So now for ZT2, so you will be having the characteristic impedance Z0 into Z2. So this will be given by, so what is Z0? Z0 is 30 into Z2 is, so 40. So now what is the value? So just tell me and calculate and tell me what is the value. ZT2. So now similarly ZT3 also we can calculate. So what is ZT3? So ZT3 will be equal to square root of Z0 into Z3. So ZT2 you can calculate by using Z0 into Z2. So what is the value? ZT2 value, anybody who got?
34.61, sir.
Okay, 34.61 ohm, and similarly ZT3
60.
60 ohm. Okay, so this is the value of ZT3 and ZT2. So now we need to find the S matrix, because we need to see whether it is a lossless or loss. Okay, so for that S11 we know, so ZL minus Z0 at the input side, that is at the port 1. Okay, so if you see at port 1 it is 30 ohm, the input impedance, and characteristic impedance is 30 ohm. Okay, so if you do that, so S11 will become equal to 0. Okay, so similarly S22 at port 2, so what is the actual this one? So if you write it, this one, the junction values. Okay, so now we are looking, this is Z2 and this is Z3. So the characteristic impedance is 30 ohm. Okay, so now you can see here, so what is the value of which we find out Z3? So Z3 is 120 ohm and Z2 is 40 ohm, is it not? So now whenever we looking at this port, so this will become parallel to each other. So whenever we are calculating S22, so we need to look into from this port, what is the, so the reflected by incident wave. So that's why, so this will become parallel to each other, that is 30 in parallel with 120 ohm. Okay, so minus the value of impedance, which is equal to 40 ohm. So divided by 30 parallel 120 ohm plus 40. Okay, so now what you will S22, you just calculate. So 30 parallel 120, how much it will give? Calculate it. 30 into 120 divided by 30 plus 120, it is 150. So around it is 360 by 15. How much? It is 15 to the 30 and 4. So is it 24 ohm? Okay, so I think it is 24 ohm. So now you can substitute it, 24 minus 40 divided by 24 plus 40. So now what is S22, which is equal to minus 16 by 64. It is nothing but minus 1 by 4, is it not? So S22 will be equal to minus 0.25. Okay, and similarly calculate S33. So what is S33? Whenever you look into this port 2, so this will become parallel to each other, and the load impedance which is having the, so the value which is 120 here. So the parallel combination is 30 parallel 40 minus 120 divided by 30 parallel combination of 40 plus 120. So now what is the value? So calculate this 30 parallel impedance, which is 30 by 30 into 40 by 30 plus 40, which is 70. Okay, so this is, so 120 by 7, so around how much it will get? So 1 7 1, so 17.1 ohm. So you substitute it, 17.1 minus 120 divided by, so 137.1. So now what is the value of S33? Just to calculate and tell me.
-3/4.
Minus 3 by 4. So that is nothing but minus 0.75. Okay. So this is the value of S33. So now we need to find what is the value of S23, and so is there any isolation, or is there any the power which is reflected from port 2 to port 3, so that we need to find out S21, S31 and S13, all other parameters. Okay, so since actually we need to find S21 and S31, because from the port 1 how much, so the power it is going, so that we need to find out S21 and S31. So that will given by the power ratios, that is P2 by P1 and P3 by P1. Okay, so that means, so your S21 will be equal to S12, so which is equal to the ratios of P2 by P1 into e power, so angle we need to take j theta, because it is lambda by 4, it is passing through that lambda by 4 transformer. So this will give, so the power P2 which is equal to 3, and total, that is 3 by 4th of the power it is going to P2, so into, so this is the angle, if you calculate lambda by 4 beta L, so it will come around 90 degree, that is 2 pi by lambda into lambda by 4. Okay, so this will give pi by 2, so which will give 90 degree. Okay, so this is a S12 or S21, and similarly S31 equal to S13, you need to calculate it. So that is nothing but ratio of P3 by P1 into e power minus j theta. So this will be equal to, so root of 1 by 4, that is 1/4 of the power it is going at an angle minus 90. So this is nothing but your point, so 866 at an angle minus 90, and similarly it is 0.25 at an angle minus 90. So 0.5, so it is 1 over 1 by 4, right? It is 0.5. This is 0.5 at an angle minus 90. So now if the network is lossless, okay, so since the network, if it is lossless, then you will get the matrix rows should be unitary, so that will be equal to S21 square plus S22 square plus S23 square, that should be equal to 1. So now we know S1 1 and we know S22, and you find it out S23 what is the value, so which will be equal to square root of 1 minus S21 square plus S22 square. Now if you substitute the value, you will get S23, which is nothing but S32. Okay, so that will be equal to 1 minus 0.25 square plus S22 is, what is the value of S22 which we have found out?
-0.25.
Yeah, so okay, minus, so 0.25 we have written is, okay, S21 it is 0.86. Okay, S21 it is 0.866 and S22 it is 0.25 square. So what is the value? So this is into, we need to take into the phase value also, which is equal to e power minus j 2 theta. So because it is traveling from 2 to 3, so it is traveling 2 times lambda by 4. So that's why it is giving e power minus j 2 theta. So what is the value, this one, which is equal to 0.433. Is it coming this much?
Yes, sir.
So at an angle, it is, so since it is traveling 90 plus 90, it is having a 180 degree phase shift. Okay, so this is about the S matrix and the power division, how it is goes. So this is about the lossless, so whatever we need to design. Okay, so is it understood? So this is what 3:1 power split. So if they ask for any other power ratio, you need to do accordingly for that power ratio. Okay, is it understood? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay, so we'll go to the next one. So that is design a coupled microstrip line for a resonance frequency of 2.5 gigahertz and substrate having thickness of 1.6 mm and dielectric constant 10. Okay, who is it? Mute it. Okay, so now we need to design a coupler design. So we know the equation for coupler. Okay, so the thickness which is given it as 1.6 mm, resonance frequency 2.5 gigahertz and dielectric constant 10. So why I have taken 10 is, so the graph which is available now, so which is at the value of 10. So this, by using this graph, you need to find out the spacing and the width of the line. Okay, so first we need to find out for odd mode impedance and even mode impedance for the coupling factor. So we need to design for the, so coupling factor of 20 dB. So here just take coupled line microstrip line for a coupling factor of 20 dB. Okay, and okay, and resonance frequency 2.5 gigahertz. Okay, so this is a coupling factor, we need to find it out. The design of the parallel line strip coupler, parallel line coupler or coupled line coupler. Okay, so if you take this one, so for the coupling factor of 20 dB, so first we need to find out what is the even mode impedance and odd mode impedance. Okay, so if you take the coupling factor, it is 20 dB. Okay, so now we need to find out what is the odd mode impedance and even mode impedance. So which is nothing but, so Z0 into square root of 1 plus C by 1 minus C. So this is the coupling factor. So even mode and odd mode impedance, that is odd mode impedance, it is given by Z0 into square root of 1 minus C by 1 plus C. So now we need to find out in terms of absolute value of the coupling factor. So for that, it is nothing but, so C in dB, which is equal to 20 log of C. So if you want C, so divide it by 20, that is C by 20 anti-log. Okay, anti-log of, so C by 20. So this coupling factor will be equal to, that is 10 power. So generally if it is giving the factor of 20, so we need to take into consideration that, so it is nothing but it is minus 20 dB. Okay, so that is minus 20 by 20. Okay, so now what is a coupling factor, which is nothing but 0.1. So now the same coupling factor, substitute it and find out the even and odd mode impedance, so which is equal to, that is ZOE equal to, so characteristic impedance you assume it as 50 ohm. Okay, if it is not given, generally the characteristic impedance will be 50 ohm, otherwise the characteristic impedance will be specified by the designer. Okay, so this will be 50 ohm into 1 plus 0.1 divided by 1 minus 0.1. So now what is ZOE, which is equal to 50 into, so square root of 1.1 divided by 0.9. So what is the odd mode impedance? Calculate and tell me. And similarly ZOO, which is equal to 50 into, so that is 1 minus 0.1 divided by 1 plus 0.1. So now what is ZOE and ZOO?
So 55.27 and 45.27
55.27, okay,
and 45.22.
22. Okay, so this is the even mode impedance and this is the, so that is, this is the even mode impedance and this is the odd mode impedance. So now we need to see the graph, what is the spacing, so which we get for these impedances. Okay, so now if you see that graph, okay, so now you see this graph, so since it is a microstrip version which we asked for, so you need to see epsilon r equal to 10 for even mode impedance and odd mode impedance correspondingly you have to see. Okay, so now we need to take this the corresponding whatever 55 ohm which is coming, so mark it here. So what is the even mode impedance? Around 55 point something. Okay, and your odd mode impedance is 45.22, so somewhere here. So if you project this one and here, if you project this one wherever it is, so wherever it is, the both the impedances will be there, so you need to look into that point. Okay, so something like 45.22 and your that 50 5.27, so that value you need to look into that. So somewhere here it will come, assume that. So for that particular value of that point you need to see what is the spacing, so S by D value. Okay, so somewhere here, and similarly you will be having somewhere the width which is given by this one, that is width by D, the W by D ratio. Okay, so now if you concentrate look at this, so something around 55 I'll take here. Okay, and similarly around 45 if I project it, so approximately we can take this one. So if you take approximately, so this will be around, the spacing S by D will be around 1.3 or something like that it will come. So take that S by 3 equal to 1.3 S by T ratio, and similarly W by D ratio you can see here, the projected around it is, we can take it as it is 0.7 and 0.1, so it is near to 1, so we can take it as 0.9 something like that. Okay, so now these ratios we have got, S by T and D, the W by D. So now we need to find it out in terms of the uh, mm values, that is millimeter values, so which is equal to W by D, which is 0.9 and this one is 1.3. So now the dielectric height, which is, we can take it as either 0.8 mm or 1.6 mm generally which is available. So now if we calculate for 1.6 mm, so what is the W? It is 0.9 into 1.6 and S equal to 1.3 into 1.6. So now calculate in terms of mm, what is W? So is it 1.44 mm? So calculate and just confirm whether it is 1.44, and similarly you can do this one also, spacing. So what is the value?
2.08.
How much?
2.08.
2.08 mm. Is it 1.44 correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now for this W and S values, you need to design a coupler. Okay, so this is what the values for W and S values. So similarly, you need to find out what is the length of the coupler line. So that is length, generally we will take it as lambda g by 4. So which is nothing but lambda g, you know, C by F into root effective epsilon. Okay, so this effective epsilon you need to calculate using the equation, that microstrip line equation. So that length, so now you can substitute the values for CF. F it is given 2.5 gigahertz, C it is given it as 3 into 10 power 8, and effective epsilon you need to calculate. So epsilon r is given by 10. Okay, so now you can see W by H, which we have taken here W by D, whether it is greater than 1 or less than 1. So if it is greater than 1, corresponding equations you need to use. Okay, so we have given that equations. So epsilon r values. Okay, so here the microstrip equations are, I think, not there. Okay, that corresponding epsilon or effective equations you need to use, and we need to calculate the what is the length of the parallel line coupler. Okay, so now since effective epsilon, it is always less than between 0 to, so whatever epsilon r or 1 to, generally we'll take it as air as a reference, 1 to epsilon r, so it will be always in between 1 and epsilon r. So now for that you need to calculate length and you have to design the parallel line coupler like this. Okay, so this is your port value and this is the another line. Okay, so now if you take this one and this two and this three and this four, so if you take like this, so then your coupled port will be having a 20 dB coupling factor. Okay, so that is what you need to get in the parallel line coupler. So now this length is lambda g by 4, whatever you will get, so that lambda g by 4 you need to plot it, so you need to put it. Okay, so and also the spacing, so this spacing whatever we have calculated, that is around 2.08 mm whatever we are getting, that you need to put it, and the width, so 1.44 mm whatever you are getting, that you need to put. Okay, so just I will show the one of the coupler design which I have done it. So this is a coupler, so which we have designed. I have designed it for the substrate height of 0.8 mm. Okay, so you can see the graphs here. Okay, you can see, so the port which we have defined here, this is 1, this is 3 and 2 and 4. This is a through port, coupled port and isolated port. Okay, so similarly you can see the S31. Okay, so what is the coupling between 1 to 3? So it is coming around 20 dB. So that you need to find it out, what is the coupling factor. Okay, so this is a one of the design. So you will also need to do that for different coupling factors whatever we define. Okay, is it understood? Any doubt? This is a coupler design. Okay, any doubt in this? Hello, Bharat? Hello, Bharat, any doubt?
No, sir.
Anushant?
No, sir.
Okay. Karthik, have you got the design how to do it? Hello, Harshita? Hello, Harshita? Okay, so anybody who is having any doubt, you can ask. Even later we'll provide this design details. Okay. Okay. So now we'll move to the next problem. So now design a 3-port resistive divider for an equal power split and a 100 ohm system impedance. If port 3 is matched, so not shared. Okay, so this is the design you need to do. Design a 3-port resistive divider for an equal power split and a 100 ohm system impedance. If the port 3 is matched, okay, calculate the change in output power at port 3 when port 2 is connected first to a matched load and then to a mismatch of gamma 0.3. Okay, so we need to design a 3-port resistive divider. First we need to find out whether what is the power at port 3 when the port 2 is matched. Okay, okay, so calculate the change in the output power at port 3 when port 2 is connected first to matched load, then so it is mismatched by the reflection coefficient value of 0.3. Okay, so this we need to design resistive divider. So first we need to find out what is the whenever the output power which is from port 3 when it is mismatched. Okay, so now the system impedance which is given it as 100 ohm. Okay, so resistive divider we need to do, so just I'll do it as a resistive uh, network. Okay, so this is port 1, port 2 and port 3. So now if it is matched, then it will be having a 100 ohm impedance. Okay, so similarly here if it is matched, then it will be having 100 ohm impedance. So now we need to design a resistive divider. So this is 100 ohm. Okay, so now if you take Z0 as system impedance 100 ohm, so now that system impedance if you divide equally between the resistors, it will give around 33.33 ohm. Okay, so now if you write the S matrix for this one, so which will be given by half into, so we need to divide power equally between 2 and 3. So that's why, so if the port is matched at port 1, so then you will get half of the power at port 2 and half of the power at port 3. Okay, and similarly, so you will get the matrix, that is whenever S12 is, so since it is symmetric it will become S21 1 and S31 will be 1, and similarly between 2 3, so it will be so half of the power which is the port 2 and port 3 is matched. Okay, so this is a S matrix. So now as we know, if the port 2 and port 3 is matched, then you will get the V2 plus C equal to 0 and V3 plus C equal to 0. Is it not? So if the port 2 and port 3 are equally matched, so that is both are matched, then your port voltages will become equal to 0. So now if you assume V1 plus equal to 1, okay, 1 at an angle 0, okay, incident power at port, incident voltage at port 1. So now correspondingly we need to find out what is the voltage at V3, okay. So that is given by V3 minus, which is equal to half of, that is V1 plus V2 plus. So since V2 plus is 0, so it is nothing but half of V1 plus, okay. So which is nothing but half, so it is having the value 1, okay. And similarly, so we know complete voltage at port 3, that is V3 equal to V3 plus V3 minus, okay. So now V3 plus is 0, so then V3 equal to nothing but V3 minus, which is nothing but half, which you have find out here, okay. So now we know the port power, which is P3 equal to V3 square by Z0, okay, the power which is coming at port 3. So now what is the V3 value, which is half square divided by what is the Z0, system of impedance, which is 100. So now what is the power at port 3, so which is nothing but 1 by 4 divided by 100, so which is equal to 0.25 by 100. So in terms of, so we can put it in terms of whatever the value which is coming, so divided by 100 means, so this is 0.25 into 10 power minus 2, or nothing but 2.5 milliwatt, okay. So in terms of power if you put, so this is the power. So similarly at port 2 you can find it out. So now port 2 has the two cases, that is one is when it is matched, okay, and when it is unmatched with the gamma value of 0.3. So both these cases we need to find it out. So now if the port 3 is matched and if the gamma is 0.3, that is port 2 is unmatched, then what is the value? So now V2 minus, we need to find it out. What is V2 minus? Which is nothing but half of V1 plus V3 plus, okay. Since the port 3 is matched, then V3 plus is 0, so which is nothing but half of V1 plus, which is equal to half, okay. And similarly you need to find what is V2 plus. So V2 plus when it is having the gamma value of 0.3, okay. So we know the gamma, that is V2 minus by that V2 plus, which is nothing but gamma. So now we need to find out V2 plus with the gamma value of 0.3, that is V2 minus equal to 0.3 times, that is gamma times V2 plus, okay. So now, so this V2 plus, so we have so if it is unmatched condition, we need to find out what is V2 plus. So sorry, so we have find out V2 minus, so that is, this is actually the equation for this V2 and V2 plus is this one. That is your, so V2 plus is nothing but gamma of V3 minus. So this is the equation. So now V2 plus we need to find it out with the gamma, that is 0.3 into V2 minus. So V2 minus we have found out here, that is half. So that will be equal to 0.3 by 2, which is equal to 0.15, okay. So this is the value of that V2 plus. So now we need to find out V3 minus with these values. So what is V3 minus? Which is nothing but your half of V1 plus V2 plus. So now for the mismatched case we have find out, so which is V1 plus is 1 plus V2 plus is 0.15, So that is nothing but half of 1.15. So which is nothing but 0.575. So this is the value for V3 minus for the unmatched case. So now we need to find out, so what is total V3, which is nothing but V3 plus V3 minus. So which is nothing but, so V3 plus is 0 since the port 3 is matched. So V3 minus only it is having 0.75, where this is the V3 value, that is in terms of volts. So now we need to find out what is the power going to P3. So that is V3 square by Z0, which is nothing but, so 0.575 square divided by Z0. So this is the value of P3. Okay, so now we have found out P2 and P3. Okay, so now we have to take the ratio of P2 and P3. Okay, so our ratio of P3 by P2 we can take. So since the port 3 is matched and port 2 is, we have taken either it is matched or with the gamma of 0.3. So if we take the ratio of P3 by P2, so when port 2 is mismatched, that is, so we can take this another way, that is, we are finding out the power at port 3 when it is matched and mismatched case, that is P3 when port 2 is matched. Okay, and divided by P3 when, so this you take unmatched and P2 is matched. Okay, so if you take the ratio of this one, so in terms of dB you will get it. So the 10 log of, so what is the P3 when port 2 is unmatched? So this is what the port 2 which is unmatched, is it not? So what is the value? So which we have found out earlier, that is for matched case, which is nothing but, so we need to find it out the value of this one and you have to put it here.
2.5
Yeah, how much?
2.5 milli.
So that is 0.25 something it is coming. Is it 0.25 into 10 power minus 2? Okay, so similarly
Yes,
for
sir.
yeah, so similarly for unmatched case, so you find it out this value and put it here. So this is the ratio, the power which is delivered at port 3 when port 2 is unmatched and port 2 is matched. So this unmatched case gamma equal to 0.3, this is the value, and matched case which we have found out, which is, that is 0.25. 0.25 divided by 100. So what is the value ratio? What is the dB value? How much dB value you are getting? So you calculate and put it the value, that is the ratio when the port 3 is the power delivered to port 3 when it is port 2 is unmatched and port 2 is matched. Okay, so this is what the problem for this 3 port resistive power divider. Is it understood? Any doubt?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so okay, we will stop here and we will continue some of the other problems. Okay, and the portion for test 2, so I will, anyhow we have completed 2 units, we will keep the 2 units. Okay.